When I was a kid, it was my safe zone. But once I established my name on the street, then it's done. Everywhere you go, yeah, panna, 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 akka, akka, akka. I don't want to be that always angry, aggressive street guy that I used to be. Every touch of the ball might be my last one, and I'm enjoying it like it's my first one. Appreciate it? Never.
No.
No. I will never appreciate getting a panna. No, 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 no. If I go to somebody else's house, I don't pick up the remote and change the channel. You just have respect and sit your ass down. I still have the same dreams and nightmares, bro. Everybody went nuts. People ran into the stage. They carried Izzy, and that's what Izzy made his name. And that's how he became Izzy Hitman.
No disrespect,
But
bro.
if my mom had a dick, it was my dad. It's not the case, bro.
Appreciate it. Welcome to the first episode of the ISFA Podcast / ISFA Street. Here we are in the legendary Kings Dome with the man, Edward van Gils, and my brother, Nenad. And yeah, basically it's the first episode, and what we want to do with the whole format is to discover the whole history of street football. And yeah, I couldn't think about a better beginning than doing it with the man himself. Brother, thank you very much for being here, or basically, thank you for having us.
Yeah, man, thank you for coming.
Man, let's do it like this. I noticed that over time that when I talk about street football, that often people ask me, what is street football? Because football, they know what it is, but if you could define street football, what would you say it is?
Purest form of football. As simple as that. Street football is more than a sport. Especially to a lot of guys on the streets. Can be a comfort zone, can be an outlet, can be a place where you can be creative, express yourself. Yeah, I guess that's it.
And would you say like street football is in every country a different sport, or is it the same sport but it's just like you play it differently? Like
I think foundation is the same. I think we all kind of play the same thing. Obviously, everybody's got a different format, which they prefer, either 3v3, 4v4, 5v5. But I think skill-wise or tactics, definitely different per country and even per city.
I think we could see it yesterday, like how our guys play from Austria, like a different style than
Yeah.
the Dutch guys here. So it's also interesting, like how they then adapt like to the play, like, and yeah, it's a different outcome, I would say, than if two teams from Austria playing against each other.
This is a good point, because how you play, it's more really dancing with the ball. In our case, it's a little bit more tactical. Let's say more passes here, there, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
You do definitely more skills than the Austrian guys. And that's the funny thing when it comes to our guys arguing about the goal and people standing near the goal. You know, some people are a little bit annoyed by it. But on the other hand, if you see you or Jim or Ori, whatever, or any kind of people who are here, Zohair, and it doesn't matter. You can stand in the goal. The goal is in the end to outskill this guy,
Yep.
to make him open his legs and then not make him or whatever. And it always happens.
Yep.
Like you can stand in the goal. Like would actually, when it comes to the zone in general, you know, like some at our tournaments, right? We're doing it with the zone. Do you prefer it with, without? What do you say?
Yeah, that's a good question. I prefer without. And the reason why is because if you play with it, it's an extra rule, and I think the more rules you got in the game, it will slow the game down, and also it gives opportunities for discussion. Is it out? Is it in? Did my foot step in the circle? A referee needs to be there. Where we don't have that conversation, we just score a goal. And obviously it's difficult, but yeah, then you got to find a way. And it's like life, man. Life is hard too, but you got to find a way.
What are we gonna do at the next tournament then? With zone or without zone?
No, but that is what I also like about international tournaments. You got to be able to adapt to every situation and to local rules. You know, you don't go on a pitch and tell people how to play. So it's good if you can come on to a pitch and they set the rules and you just still win them. I think that's the ultimate goal.
Also funny because all of us who came here, especially the younger guys, they have a bit of a higher temper. And in the beginning, because we used to play 4v4 like since we're little shits,
Yeah.
and they're coming in, can we please play 4v4? No, bro. Like, we are here at somebody else's house. You adapt to his rules.
Yeah, we-
No. Yeah, respect the rule. And then in the end, they were like, nah, but come on, until he's, before he's coming, like, let's just do it with our rules. No, let's just adapt. And the funny thing is, then Jim came, obviously a legend, and they accepted the rules like this because they saw a skiller who is knowing his game or the game in general here, and then they just wanted to continue like this.
Yeah,
There was
it's
never another question of, hey, can we please play 4v4? No, you just adapt. That was amazing, man.
Yeah, but that's it. If I go to somebody else's house, I don't pick up the remote and change the channel. You just have respect and sit your ass down. But what I thought was very interesting yesterday is definitely two different types of playing. And what we said at the beginning is like these guys put pressure like 100% of the time, where we're not used to it. We play way more relaxed, way calmer. And I think it's both a benefit. I think it's good to put pressure, but I also think it's very important to stay calm in your head. So it was funny how we both adapted. You guys started slowing the pace down a little bit instead of like doing everything 100%, and you kind of start standing small in front of the goal instead of like going all out. And we put a little bit more pressure. So it was funny how those worlds came together on a natural, in a natural way.
Yeah. I mean, I think also like our guys who play also like 11-a-side a lot. So I think they got it a bit from the 11-a-side. So to make like pressure like all the time,
Yeah.
especially like in Austria right now, like with Red Bull, they all like do like this pressure play.
Yeah.
And so I think they also adapt this style of play to street football.
Yeah.
And that's why how it became like normal, I guess, for us.
Yeah, I think it was cool because we really were struggling at the beginning. Like, how do we manage this? Because we specialize in the guys standing very small in front of the goal. So we found some ideas to still score a goal. And now there were guys everywhere, so we had to move quicker. Where we used to play like very calm because we want to stay relaxed in our heads. Because the more relaxed you are, the better decision maker you are. But now it was a little, there was pressure.
Yeah. I have one question, like, especially like in summer, when you drive like through Amsterdam or something, and you see like a small street football pitch, and you see like people playing, do you also sometimes like randomly like just join, like, or do you?
No, it pops up in my mind.
Yeah.
I do want to do it, and then I get flashbacks from back in the days.
Okay.
And then sometimes I just park my car and just watch the kids play,
Okay,
just to
I
go back into the time when I was a young boy.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit, maybe they would appreciate it, but then again, maybe it's also a little bit weird, you know what I mean? Just making fun of these little kids and just hop in your car and go back again. I don't know.
I see. Yeah.
Maybe because when you say that, when you park the car and observe people
Yeah.
playing street football, do you notice any difference of people nowadays or children, whatever, playing street football with back then when you were younger?
The thing is, it kind of grew back like how I grew up. It's more just regular football on a smaller pitch, where we try to make an art out of it and put a lot of creativity in it. So it's not very unfamiliar if I watch it, but I'm also not really looking at the play. I'm more watching the smiles on the faces and how they interact with each other, and how to deal with fouls and stuff like that. For me, especially, it's impossible to have a game like you were younger, without any pressure, without anybody expecting something from you. Because when you step on the pitch, they immediately think you're going to do some crazy stuff. Or sometimes you just want a ball. And when I go to a court like that, I see how free these kids are, how pure, and how they just play for fun. And there's no pressure. They don't have to make a panna or a crazy goal. It's just yeah, man. That's that special place. You know what I mean?
Was there at some time in your life period where you felt a certain pressure while playing street football, like kinda forgetting about this, purity and fun and the essential things of street football? Was there any period, or was it always, this
No, like I said,
beautiful zone?
like I said, when I was a kid, it was my safe zone. But once I established my name on the street, then it's done. Everywhere you go, yeah, panna, 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 akka. They always expect something. And if sometimes, in a certain team, it's not the place and time to do skills. You know what I mean? If I'm the last man and I'm playing, for instance, with Izzy is the guy to play the ball to, because we got to work for Izzy. And if you just defending and passing Izzy the ball because you got a game plan, people are like, oh, he doesn't have it anymore, or he's getting old. So that pressure is always there.
All right.
Yeah.
So when people start shouting and so on, you immediately feel kind of a rise of a pressure, or
It's less nowadays because I don't need to compete with these guys anymore. Obviously I'm 47, so I'm already happy that I can share the pitch with the younger guys. So for me, every touch of the ball might be my last one, and I'm enjoying it like it's my first one. So I don't feel that pressure anymore. I'm just enjoying it. Well, I feel it, but not in a sense that it gets into my mind or something. Now it's more like it's an honor that they still expect that from me on this age. So.
Okay, one random question now. Like, do you actually, or like, when you get punned, do you remember that like for a longer time, or like does it stuck in your head and you're like kind of angry because of it, or like not angry, but you think like, oh shit, no, I need to give him back, or do you just like appreciate like, hey, you did well and you go on? Or
appreciate it? Never.
No.
No, I will never appreciate getting a panna. No. But like I said, for me, football is also about life, And if something bad happens in life, put your chest out, chin up, and continue life. And it's the same with football. If it gets in your mind, it's gonna affect your game too.
Yeah.
So you just gotta let it go. Understand that it's kind of like airplanes. You can count airplanes that will go down and explode, or you count them the one that land. And I know how many pannas I landed. So, every now and then you will get a panna. And in all honesty, I hate guys that pull up their legs or don't want to defend because they don't want to get a panna.
Yeah.
I think you're only a real man if you want to get that ball and you get it 9 out of 10 times. And every now and then you will get either a panna or an akka around you. It is what it is.
You need to take the risk, yeah.
Right? It's part of the game.
Yeah. And I think it makes it also more beautiful. Like if you just like stand like this all the time.
For me too. If you want to be a good street football player, you got to know how to score. You got to know how to beat your opponent, but also how to grab a ball and to defend. And if you cannot do that, in my books, you're not a real good football player.
Yeah. That's a good point, yeah. But still, yeah, Jovan, can you remember when you punned Edward?
Actually, I never showed you this, or we never showed you that, but because he showed me not so long ago at the first tournament when you went to Salzburg. There is a scene where I'm attacking and you're, defending, and I'm actually punning. It's like a slight shot.
It's not, a real.
It's not a real one, but it's going to the goal and it's hitting the post. I'm like, okay, if that would have been a goal, sweet, but yeah, no disrespect,
But
bro.
if my mom had a dick, it was my dad. It's not the case, bro.
Appreciate it.
No, I really have no idea what you said. I'm just cut it out of my memory.
We'll put it then somewhere here.
No, all good. Now,
I
when
really don't know.
Hmm?
I really don't know.
Doesn't matter. It was the whole vibe that was amazing. But one question that I have in my mind since you mentioned it, when you started doing street football and creating art out of it, because it does look like that,
Mm-hmm.
like yesterday when I saw you playing 2 days ago and so on, like it's like I said, dancing with the ball, but kind of different. Like you're in a flow, like
Yeah.
all the fucking time. I'm like, you can definitely tell, like, this guy created an art out of it, like 100%, like Jim as well. And was this something that came up naturally, like this whole development of your style of play? Like, or did you plan it, like, I want to make an art out of it?
No, I think it's just by my body movement. And I used to be a dancer back in the days, in the hip hop area in the 90s. You know, it was normal to have, if a hip hop group was there, you had background dancers. Actually, me and Jermaine Vanenburg.
Yeah?
Vanenburg is also a dancer, yeah. So maybe it comes a little bit from that. And I also did different sports. I did boxing, kickboxing. So that's why I'm more flexible than others. Now, what I think you just hit it when you said flow, because I think that's exactly it. Because once you're in that flow, you're unstoppable. And you can also see that you're not even in this facility anymore. I'm in my own mind. I'm in my own brain. I don't look at any people. I don't hear anybody. It's just my own private dance.
It makes so much sense that you're saying this, to me at least, because so you're not just completely focusing on street football,
No.
but also you did other disciplines, let's say,
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of a big inspiration in my life, that is Bruce Lee, who not just did martial arts, he was actually dancing cha-cha-cha and doing fencing.
Really?
And this is the thing that kind of made him moving in different ways. So what he also is saying, like, you know, being like water in that case,
Yeah.
like really being in the flow and creating his own art that inspired other people to find their own art. Because I love what he was saying, and this is something how I view you. Like, for me, you're the Bruce Lee in football or in street football, or I mean, not Bruce Lee. You're Edward van Gils in street football, but still, you have the same philosophy, in my opinion. Because he was also saying, I cannot teach you anything. I can just help you to explore yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what you basically do. And I guess a real good example of that is Dylan,
Yep.
who was here
Yeah.
several months, learning from you, and you were not teaching him. You're just helping him
Yeah,
to explore
exactly.
himself. And yeah.
Yeah, it's also impossible to force your own style upon somebody, because everybody moves different. So you just give him some tools, and he needs to figure out how to use it. And sometimes you just change a trick, or you do it a little different. And then I'm like, you know, keep that like you're doing it right now, because that's in your system. So yeah, please do that. And I think it's very interesting what you said about the water and Bruce Lee, because I always try to understand, let my students understand how I move the ball. And maybe you can compare it with it, because it's like a ball too. If I'm moving the ball, it's always in a flow, right? And I never cut the ball like very hard. It's the same with water. If you cut off water real hard, it will splash. But if you guide it, you know, it will smoothly go with a pipeline or whatever. And it's the same thing with a ball. If you see my moves, I always go a direction, I pull it back, and then it goes back in the same direction, and it's like a flow too. And I never like, it's never hard. It's always like very smooth. And I always try to use the gravity too, because if I, for instance, like the triple akka, I use gravity. I just slowly pick it up, leave it on my foot, and then just steer it, leave it on my foot, but use gravity to hold that ball and steer it the way that I want it.
Street football physics.
Yeah, yeah, but it's so important, because a lot of kids, they see a move, they try to do it, but the execution most of the time is wrong, or the place and time. Because for instance, if they want to do just a regular akka, they first kick the ball forward. If the ball is moving forward and I'm running behind it and I have to do this, it's almost impossible. I have to extend my leg, and you want the ball to be underneath your body. So I keep the ball underneath my body and just slowly move it in the direction that I want. And now the ball is moving this direction, so it's very easy for me to make this move now in a fluent motion. So I think it is very important for these kids to understand that.
Yeah, I mean, like, in general, like, you need to try so much, and like to practice a lot to see, like, okay, what can I do differently, and what makes the difference. Like, if I put my body like in this position more, or in this, then you see, okay, oh, this works out more fluent than like other movements, you know.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, where a lot of kids or people in general, they give up maybe quickly, because they think, oh no, I'm not capable of doing this. and then it's like, okay, I think it's more up to you, like how much you really try, like, and then, yeah, for example, I'm also not I would say the best skiller, but at one point, of course, you just like try things out, and then you see, okay, if I do it like more in this way, maybe also you need to adapt also to your body at one point. So I see, okay, I can't do like when you stop the ball like this. I don't know. I think like, oh shit, I'm gonna break my knee if I do this. So it's like I do it like in a different way then, like, and then yeah, in the end, it's like I think practice, like
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, to have this willpower to do or like to improve.
No, definitely. And a lot of kids too, or a lot of players, let me put it like that, they see a move, they practice it, they never done it in a game, but they got it down, right? In the backyard or whatever. They switch to the next one. They got it down, switch to the next one. Never tried one in a game. You know, take it a little easier, you know. Focus on 3 or 4 moves at a time. If you got them in your backyard or whatever, try doing them in a game. And if you can do that, then you switch to the next one. Because otherwise you got this whole arsenal of tricks that you will never use.
Did you basically, when like in these days when you were playing all the time, did you also practice every day? Like also like later on when you did it, we could say professionally, did you practice street football every day or on a constant level?
Yeah.
Alone basically by yourself?
Yeah. It was different than how the guys practice now. Because my brain works a little different. During the day, it's just on snooze. And when I'm in bed, you know, I don't have any other things to keep my brain busy with. And when I'm in the bed, I start thinking, and then all of a sudden I see all these street football moves, and then I try to remember them. But 9 out of 10 times when I woke up, it was gone. So later I got out of bed and I start drawing the moves.
Really?
And then
Drawing?
Yeah, I draw the moves, and then when I woke up, I executed them, and then I tried to do it until it worked.
All right.
Yeah, I still have the same dreams and nightmares, bro.
But wait, random, but fuck it. Are you a good drawer as well, or is it like just something? Are you?
Yeah.
Do you have some of these drawings still? Like
I might. Yeah, most likely.
that would be amazing if you could show that.
Yeah.
But man, but also because you mentioned kids before and so on. Like obviously a lot of people, not just grown-ups, but especially children, get inspired by your moves. I mean, we see it with our community. Like it's funny because some of them are really that young that they never heard about you, you know. But ever since you were there for the first time, they're like, Edward van Gils is the god, you know. Like, and it's interesting. What is the thing that you pay attention the most to when it comes to helping children to explore themselves?
For the kids to have fun. Because in my ID, sports is fun. It's not a career choice. The kids shouldn't have that pressure of like my parents want me to become the new Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. I just want the kids to have fun, man, and that's the most important thing. And once they have fun, it's more easy to learn because you're in a certain zone. And if you have fun and you can learn more easy, your confidence go up. So that's how I do it. And those are the 3 most important ingredients for me. And after that, if a kid is confident, you can learn him everything. Yeah.
Maybe because you said it's not something that you make a career of, but in your case, you actually made a career out of it, or you're still doing it, basically, right?
You know what? I'm still having fun.
Okay, mic drop.
No, but it's also the reason why I'm not as visible on social media. You know, I think we definitely were, and maybe even still are a little bit, the influencers of the influencers that influence the masses. Do you get it?
Can you repeat it?
No. No, but for real, I really believe that, and I think if we would be the social media guys, and there's no wrong and right in this situation. You know, everything is good, and I respect everybody for their hustle and their qualities in life. But I think this is just our position to be in. if we would be more on social media, we would create hypes. I think social media people create hypes, and I think guys like us, we create culture and communities. And without culture and communities, it's going to be more difficult to create hypes in a community. So you need each other. So there's a time and place for everybody, and I think this is just my time and place to be a pioneer. Not being that visible, but have my credibility as a street football player, and being authentic as I am. And the other guys have their spot in the community too, to bring it to a bigger audience, and to get some more money into the sport, hopefully, and get some extra attention. But that circle is so important, and we should never forget that. We need the influencers, and the influencers need us for authenticity, but also for the creativity. You know, what is hot and what is not at the moment on the streets, for real.
Yeah, we need to put everybody like on the table, because like if we exclude somebody, then I mean, I think it wouldn't work. Like you said, like it's this whole circle.
It's the food chain, man.
Food chain. One question I had in my mind is, because I saw today Ori training like with the kids. Do you also do like one-on-one trainings?
Yeah, definitely.
Still?
Yeah. I don't do as many groups anymore. We do Ajax, AZ. We used to do Utrecht. Then I will be on a group, but most of the time, for me, it's a little bit difficult, because I only want to train kids that really want to be here. You know, and
so you sometimes feel like, okay, it's not their choice, like it's like more from the parents, like pushing them.
Unfortunately, yeah. And they also, you know, they come into the facility and they start coaching the kids while you're coaching, and like, I don't have the mindset for that. I don't have the patience. No.
That was actually beautiful to see with Ori, and they were basically three, I don't know, maybe 11 years old kids that were so into it, you know, like he took time for each one of them, and they were like really into it, like you could really tell. And the parents were there just watching, filming also, you know, being their biggest fans. That was so beautiful to see. You could see, like, there was no music, nothing. You just hear Ori explain certain things, and they're just practicing. And this sound was like music in the end. Like, really, it was so on point, nothing forced, flow, basically. Like, for Ori, for the children, and also for the parents. Everybody kind of supporting each other. That was cool. Man, that was amazing.
Yeah, like, Ori is an amazing coach, an amazing trainer, also obviously an amazing player. But you know, to give, yeah, man, for real. But to be able to give it to the next generation, that's another specialty. And this guy, in a natural way, knows to grab the kids' attention. And I think I know how he does it. You know, the kids most of the time have a lot of energy. You know, they talk loud. And most of the time, coaches want to go over those voices of these kids, you know, and they also start shouting, where the kids are going to shout even harder. But Ori is like this, you know, you don't even know what he's saying. And so the kids are like, he's got their full attention, because he's lowering his voice, he talks a little slower, way calmer, and now these kids want to pay attention, what's going on. And I think that is an amazing technique that he has.
Yes, and or what goes hand in hand with that is, in my opinion, his presence in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, his energy, aura, call it anything. Like,
aura.
But but the same thing with you. Like, you can be louder, more silent, doesn't matter. Your presence is enough that people are actually paying attention to you. And I'm not actually meaning the physical look. Obviously, some people also pay attention to that, you know, but it's just the whole thing, like this, and what it takes to have that charisma and so on, authenticity, whatever, is basically the expression of this innate potential that we have inside ourselves. And you're basically the one, and I remember writing that after the first time you've been to Salzburg, because not just us felt incredibly inspired, but basically a whole community. And you're like a burning log, you know, and you're putting now a piece of wood next to this log, and then after some time, you know, this wood is also burning the same, like, because you're providing the flame to them. And this is something that a lot of people should have if they are in a teacher position or coaching position, but they don't have, you know. And you can easily tell. In my opinion, it's something you feel.
Yeah.
And this is something that why I love also now being with our younger guys with you, because we know exactly you're inspiring them, and this is what it's all about. Like this is, and bye Ori.
Ori.
We just talked about you.
Is goed, Mori. Yes. Can I, because that was beautifully said, man. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And I think that is pure confidence in what you can and cannot do, because I'm also confident in what I'm bad at. And it's also inner peace. And I think that's also something that you saw yesterday. You saw some guys that were very relaxed on the pitch. You know, they had inner peace, so you can think quicker, you're calmer, you can deal with that pressure. And I'm sorry. And when you're younger, you got more testosterone, right? So there's not that calmness in their brains yet. So that's why they always running on 100%, you know, instead of like sometimes walk, sometimes jog a little bit, then run, then be explosive. And I hope the guys also see that, you know, it's not all about physical. It's not all about have to be able to win that scrimmage. You know, pick your battles, man. And I think that is so important in football. If you look at all the guys that are top scorers in the highest leagues and Champions Leagues and World Cup, look at their faces when they score a goal, when there's like 8 people around them in the box. You know, very relaxed, faces relaxed. They just have that inner peace that they can deal with that stressful situation like it's nothing. And I think that will make you an exceptional football player.
I right now just have Lewandowski randomly in my head, because he also just have like this face, like nothing happens, and then scores. And
yeah, they stay calm on the pressure.
You want to say something to this topic?
Related to inner peace, definitely.
Inner peace. Okay.
Because man, because I guess it's easy to say for us that street football gives us a certain peace, right? But how could you tell for yourself how do you attain inner peace?
How do I what?
How do you get to that point to have inner peace?
I think once you understand where you're good at and where you're not, I think that's when it starts. Because then you have peace with the mistakes you're gonna make, the possible mistakes you're making, and with full confidence execute the things that you're good at. So don't start doubting yourself anymore. Doubt is the worst thing for your brain, right? And it's in both ways, attacking and defending. Because if I'm defending somebody, I'm already afraid.
You're already lost.
You got this, you know, you're stiff. If I want to score a goal and I see the goalie and I'm like, oh my God, what is he going to do? No, I'm going to do whatever I want to do and let him be afraid of what I'm going to do, right? I know exactly what I can do, what my strong points are, what my weak points are, and just accept it, you know? And I think with exception in life, that's when you start to create peace of mind.
Period. Because you're kind of the father figure, I guess, for some people who are playing here, like, or you have like this status, I would say, like, because you're also like teacher and inspiration. And is it like when you're like with these kids here, is it somehow, or like I know you have like 2 daughters, three daughters.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you like, or do you sometimes have this feeling of having like this, or that you are in this father position when you're here also on the pitch, or you see yourself more like, okay, like, or I don't know, if it's comparable somehow, like that you sometimes want to guide them, like also not just on football related, but also like on life related, like topics, like to.
Interesting question. I hope I get your question right. If I don't, let me know, okay? What I think it's not a position that I'm taking within my house, within the facility, or within the street football community. I think it's more the way that I want to be. Like I said, when I'm on the pitch, I want to be that calm guy that everybody can rely on. And I think it's the same as a parent, you know. You need to be calm there too. You know, got to be confident, because my children don't do what I tell them to, but they will see the strength in me, you know. And if I deal with a certain situation either angry or relaxed, they will do the same thing. And it's the same with my teammates, and it's the same with the children on the street. And we can all nag about the society and about the next generation, or we can give them a hand and help them out a little bit, guide them more, because all children need guidance, you know. And 9 out of 10 of these kids don't get that from the house. So I think we all need to take care of each other. So if I can be a little bit of help, why won't I do that? You know, and I think that's just my personality. That's the type of guy that I want to be. I don't want to be that always angry, aggressive street guy that I used to be. But first of all, it takes too much energy from myself. And all the people that I want to help are going to reflect upon me and going to do the same thing. And once you understand that, you're like, okay, I'm a role model. Let me act like a role model.
I think especially like if, let's say like at my home, it's not like easy, and it's like really not the best place to be right now. And I'm like on the pitch, and then I'm experiencing a similar thing like at home. There's like, I don't know, they're like shouting or like really aggressive way. Then I guess I would think like, okay, in general, everywhere where I am, like in every area, it's gonna be similar like this. But if you experience something like on the pitch, like in a calm way, like in a more respectful way, then you think, oh, okay, so there is something more than just like this way of life that I have maybe at home. So this is definitely like gonna change their perspective, like in general. Like
very interesting what you're saying, because I believe in the same philosophy. First of all, I think there's way too many people with traumas. So there's a lot of guys on the pitch, they get shouted at and they're like, fuck, I'm at home. And something happens in their brain, because maybe mom, dad, or whoever shouted at them from a young age. And that's trauma, and you take that everywhere. So when you're on the pitch, they shout, you don't even know why, but boom, it's messed up. But I also believe if you're a true leader, you lead in a different way. You lead by example, right? So I don't believe in putting pressure on people and demanding them to do for me what I want them to do. No, I show them what I expect from them by doing it myself. So I'll cover your back. I'll give you the space to make your move. And once they see I do that for them, they will most of the time, on a natural way, do the same thing back.
give it back.
Yeah, it's the same with being a coach. You know, 9 out of 10 coaches want the team to fight for them, so he's shouting, and you know, if you don't do it, I'll put you on the bench. Where I'm like, no, I'll show you first that you can trust me, and then you know you can decide to give it your all or not.
Oh, so many questions, things in my head right now, to be honest, but beautiful to listen. When you refer to people who experience certain traumas, I have to think about StreetKings in jail.
Yeah.
What you did, because if there are people with trauma, then it's a lot of people in prison, in jail. How was that for you in general? Because you were, I don't know in how many prisons you've been already, like visiting them, and wait, let's do it like this. Yeah, how was it for you? Like being there around people who experienced something that we cannot even imagine, to be honest.
Well, you know, to be very honest, when I go to prison, I get sad, because I don't believe in the prison system. To be very honest, I don't even believe in the justice system as we have it right now. Then again,
because what is
I'm going to explain to you in a little bit. But then again, I don't have a better idea. So what else can I do to just try to help out? Because I think 80% of the people that are in prison should not be in prison. It's decisions that you make. It's an environment where you grow up. It's the situation where you're in at that moment. And you gotta be lucky and unlucky, man. I could have been in jail 10 times, and I bet you guys also did stuff, if the police saw it, that you could be in jail. If somebody touches my children, I'm 100% taking the risk to go to jail. There's such a thin line between going to jail and not, and I don't believe people are bad. Of course there's bad and crazy people, but I think the big chunk in prison just made a bad decision in a bad situation. So I really get sad when I go into any prison, because you see so much potential. They're smart guys, they're nice guys, we don't all need to be a brain surgeon, but they all have potential, they all have their own talents. But it's so difficult once you get into that system to get out of that system. And I think we should look at that more and spend our government money wiser to get these guys back into society, but then a real change. Now they're putting a lot of money, they're spending a lot of money, but once the guys go out, it's almost impossible for them to stay on the right path. And I think that's because of the system and how the Justice Department has arranged everything, and also the jail system. Because when you go into jail, you don't talk about, when I go out, I'm gonna be a rocket scientist. You're gonna talk about the things that you know, and you get smarter. And if you go out and you don't have anything, like, oh, wait a minute, I can remember I had that chat with that guy. Let me get some money, because I need to feed my children, or my wife expects a little bit of money. I gotta pay rent. So yeah, good luck with that when you just had like 5-6 years of detention.
How was it in general? Like, did an idea pop up in your mind and you were like, yeah, I have to go to prisons to perform on a street football level and educate level, to help them somehow? Or how did it actually start?
To be very honest with you, I think it's very difficult to help people that are at a certain age and have already a certain background. So what I would like to do is also change their worlds by maybe helping their little brother, their son, their nephew. You know what I mean? So I wanted to go into jail and also back into favelas. So we followed two guys from the same neighborhood. How did it happen that one became world champion with Colombia and the other one is in jail for 15 years? You had the same opportunities, you had this little bit the same talent. What was it? And I wanted to know, and I also wanted to tell the story to the children on the streets of Amsterdam. What the whole process is, because sometimes something is just a transaction for you, but you have no clue what's going on with the 11, 12-year-old kids in Colombia. They just get shut down for 2 grams of weed, that you smoke in a coffee shop, for example. It's not the case because they grow it here themselves, but it's terrible, man. These kids are 11 years old and they got to choose to go to either a cartel or a paramilitary organization. And if they don't do it, they shoot the kids in order to make sure that the other kids are going to be afraid and make a choice at the age of the 11. So I just wanted to show a couple of things that, of course you're making money, of course you want to drive that scooter, but understand what you're doing. Know the whole story behind it. And also, if I'm talented, okay, what can I do to get out of it? And if I do this, this and that, how likely am I going to go to jail? So I just want the kids to think about it, because I will never, ever tell anybody how to live their lives, because I don't know his life. I never stepped in his shoe. So who am I to tell somebody to do it different?
Yeah, I mean, when you mentioned like the justice system, like in general, is for you not really justice.
No.
I can also agree, and I agree like 100%, because in my point of view, like in my opinion, I mean, I'm not religious or like really. I mean, I would say I believe in God, but I'm still like on the way to see what it actually means, and I'm like still like figuring some things out. But I would say, like, to be honest, like only God can judge a person.
Yeah.
In this way, like I think everybody has somewhere deep inside what is right and what is really wrong. Like, and basically, of course, you have a free will, and you decide then like what you do and what not. And then like to put like people in this position to judge this person and like to tell them, okay, they need to spend their life like behind the prison like for 20 years or longer, just because they did like in one situation one wrong thing, then it's like, in my opinion, the wrong way to do.
Yeah.
But like you said, I don't have right now in my mind what could we do better, like, or in a different way, because okay, in my world, this wouldn't even be needed like a prison, because I believe like everybody's have something good in them, and then like everybody could have like the chance to show the people that they are actually good. But then if you put them like for, let's say, 20 years in prison, then you kind of destroy them like mostly, like I think most of the time, like, and so they don't even have the chance to show for themselves or like for other people that they are actually good.
Yeah.
Because they got like this stamp on the head, like, hey, you did something evil and that's it. So you are like nobody.
Society gives up on these people.
Yeah.
Because when they go out, you want to have a job, you were in detention. It's going to be difficult. You got questions, or they focus more on you, what are you doing, or sometimes they even abuse the situation, right?
Yeah.
If you go to a club, people know it, they talk about it, your neighbor, you know.
Yeah.
So I think these guys are already punished. They go out and they get punished every day, even worse, in my opinion.
So many things again, because what he said, in general, this is why I love street football so much, because I see this common ground between what you're doing here, what we're doing in Austria, what the people in Colombia, Japan, Georgia, whatever. What you are doing, in my opinion, is you're paying genuine attention to the human beings around you or on the pitch, aside of the pitch, whatever. And I do believe that this is something that is needed in general when it comes to a certain justice system, in a jail, whatever, because most of the people in such a facility are not really paying genuine attention to these people anymore. You know, they label them like this, and you know, you're not treating them as human beings anymore. But this is also funny because if you are also in a corporate world, and we both live in Switzerland, work there, pretty business driven, even there, 90% of them are not treating people like genuinely. They don't pay genuine attention. This is always some hidden agenda in the head or whatever business thing. But I just had it in mind because you also mentioned God. Same interesting thing. I do believe that we are paying genuine attention to them, and if you pay genuine attention to other people, they start paying genuine attention to themselves. Yeah. And while listening to themselves, you could say, argue. I know how my friend Vince thinks about the topic. No, but it's interesting because I would also say that I'm somewhere discovering certain things. But you pay attention to people, they pay attention to themselves, and then while paying attention to themselves, they start paying attention to God or life, however you want to term it, because there is a certain way that we should align ourselves to, in my opinion. And if you figure that out, to listen to that way, to listen to this inner voice that is whispering basically all the time, this inner judge, right, wrong, and if you really act upon that, then it's good. But the first step, or at least now in the society, what I could observe is the human factor. You gotta show love in the end.
Yeah.
Just wanted to add this.
No, I believe so too, man. I really do. And that's why I like animals. Animals can't speak, so they cannot hurt you with words. Mm-hmm. And 9 out of 10 times it's not in their human nature, not in their nature to harm you, you know. And I think people, because we got a tongue, we hurt people, and that's why we get aggressive and do other stuff to people. So I think having a voice is not the best thing in life.
I think like what is also like in the football world like really present is like that some of them put themselves in a position where they think that they are the center of the world, like, and then everything is like around, like is like going around them, and like you can also see it sometimes on the pitch, you know, when you play against some players who think like, okay, no, you know, everything needs to go like how they want to play, like how they behave, and then you see like that this energy is not helping the whole team. You know, you see like that the other teammates are maybe getting annoyed, or they get also maybe a bit also anxious. You know, they think, oh, okay, shit, I don't want to do anything wrong, because he's like giving this attitude that everything needs to go like how he wants, and then this is like also destroying like the things around you. And so this is an ego problem, I guess.
Yeah, it's an ego problem, but this is a very interesting topic because I feel the same, and I said I believe in leading by example. Then again, what I think is a shame nowadays within football is that nobody is bigger than the team anymore, and I also don't believe in that. Because back in the days, you used to have those exceptional players, and the coach just built a team around these guys, Maradona, Ronaldo, whoever. And now when you go to a club, nobody's bigger than the team. There's no I in team, and I'm like, I don't know, man. If you got this exceptional player, just feed him. You know, give him the ball. And make sure that everybody fights for the ball and give it back to him again. And I know that's two different situations, because if the guy is also fighting and he scores 4 goals, and even when he didn't score, he tries to get the ball back, he also shows that he's fighting for the team.
Exactly.
So I hear what you're saying, but that is something that I think is a shame at the moment. We need more big players where they can make the difference, man, in my opinion.
But I think there's also like a difference between having like the confidence and showing it, and maybe thinking to have the confidence and then like not showing it. Like it's, yeah,
I know exactly what you mean.
This is also what he said also before, you know, getting to a certain point of inner peace is knowing what you're good at and bad at. But this is like something that you genuinely and truly have to discover. And if you do it genuinely, truthfully, then you're not thinking that you're like this, then you simply know.
Yeah.
But what is the difference in that case? Because some people, they think they are, but they're not. And some people know that they are, and they are truly. How does it happen that they come to this point that they're like, let's do it like this. How do you really do that genuinely, you know? Not lying to yourself in that case.
I think for some people it's difficult, man, because sometimes I see players, I'm like, how can you be so confident? Maybe it's because they're insecure. Maybe they really want something bad, and maybe they really think that they're good. I don't know. I have no clue. You know, you have those guys, you have those players. So you think you can dance, you see people dancing, you're like, are you serious? There's nobody around you that's told you can't dance, you know, or idols, people start singing, you're like, what? Are you serious? I don't know what that is.
But maybe this is like if the people around you are giving you like a wrong, how to say, perception? No.
Yeah, perception.
Perception, like, or they think they're telling you like, or they're basically lying to you and telling, hey, that's good, you know, like, hey, look.
Possibly.
So they're like not honest to them, and so they build something in their mind like, oh, okay, yeah, I got disapproval from him and her, and I don't know, and then they are like in their own mind, and like, and they get lost there, because then it's not their reality anymore. So
excuse me, yes, Roep.
I mean, I think every one of us has it at one point, like, where we think like, okay, we do this in a certain level, but it's maybe not 100% the reality, like, or how it is in our mind that we are showing, or like showing us to somebody, like, or, you know.
You can also turn it around. You know, when I got older, I asked Issy, please tell me when I need to stop playing, because I won't see it. You know what I mean? Because you're at a certain level, and at one point, you know, you just cannot pull off what you used to, but you will still try to do it. You see a lot of professional players, you know, taking that extra year, and then at the extra year, they become like a spitting image of themselves. So I asked Izzy, if it's the day, just tell me, man. Just be rude to me. Just tell him, like, listen, man, give me your shoes. Because maybe that's a little bit the same.
And I guess it's easy in that case because you know that he's 100% honest with you,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah, is he gonna tell me? Trust
Yeah.
me.
Amazing. But it's funny with you, I do believe we gotta wait at least 5 to 10 more years until this is gonna happen. Because you're 47 right now,
Yes.
and last year with 46 you scored the goal of the year, decade, whatever, man.
The
In my
event was
opinion.
amazing.
40 seconds, guys.
The funny thing when I think about that, I remember that because I would, I'm a street baller, but I'm not kind of an Amsterdam baller and so on. And everybody has their way of play, of his game. And I remember when my brother told me the first time, bro, you move so statically, like you're so slow, and it hurt me so much. But in the end, I realized, oh, all right. Okay, I'll bring that one topic up. Thank you, Vince. No, but it's funny because it hurt so much because it was true. And I didn't want to admit that truth to myself. I was like kind of living this, illusion, let's say, like, no, I'm better than I actually am. And when you come to a point when you simply admit that it's the case, well, good, man.
Yeah,
This is
because what is the problem with moving static?
nothing, basically. That's something also that you said. Some people move like water, and some people move like mud.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's this is something that you have to realize. It's simply okay.
Yeah, man. Adapt your style to who you are, and not adapt your style to who you want to be.
Oof, know your game. Oh man. But switching the topic because thanks, Vince. You remember when you were the first time at our house, our parents' house? We were having dinner together with Brandon,
Yeah.
Dylan, and
Yeah.
Ruben. And you told us. Now is the question. Maybe you were joking with us and so on, but you told us that you see two-dimensional, not three-dimensional. So really, like
I used to. Yeah. Now I got glasses. Yeah.
when you say you used to do that, like was it a long period?
Yeah. Very long period. Because I think I got my eyes checked 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't a joke. Yeah.
So, but how did especially when you play, we all play with our eyes, obviously also ears and so on, but it's mainly our eyes. How could you estimate basically when the ball is coming and so on if you really see
I don't know, brother. In all honesty, it was a surprise for me too. Maybe it's like how blind people can hear better. I don't know. Maybe your body adjusts to the situation. It's the same like maybe when my mother-in-law husband, he's got a blood clot in his eye, so he lost the vision in one eye. But after a while, his other eye took over the vision of both eyes. So maybe something similar. I don't know. Yeah. But I never had problems with it. I had problems when I started using glasses. Because then all of a sudden, what the fuck is coming at me?
I mean, like, one other thing what yesterday Rafi mentioned, he was kind of irritated, or like, he thought like that you sometimes, or like, your dress style is like, oversized, like this street style, your trousers and your shirt. And he was like kind of philosophizing and thinking, maybe he wears this clothes so that he can hide the ball bearer, so you can't see it, like, because it's like so wide trousers and stuff. I'm like, bro, you really think that? Like,
No, it's just because it was cold yesterday, man. Trust me, because I wear shorts in the winter, in the summertime.
Yeah, I was like, you think he'll play in summer like this?
No, in all honesty, it's not even that stupid that he thought about it a little bit.
Yeah?
Because there is something with the wider pants.
Yeah?
Yeah. When I move, it looks more in slow motion because my clothing are coming behind my legs. So the speed and the speed that you see
Yeah.
is different. So there is a little secret in there. Yeah, because I used to play with long pants always.
Rafi?
Yeah.
Got it.
So not stupid.
Long pants, I immediately have to associate it with tracksuits because back in the days, right, you had these white tracksuits
Yeah.
that people wanted to have,
Yeah.
but you could just earn them by beating you guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Was
Most of
that
the
was
game.
it a Street Kings tracksuit simply? Right?
No,
Or was it
back in
what-
the days it was Masters of the Game.
Masters of the Game?
Yeah.
And who was wearing it in the beginning? Was you?
Bro, that's a long time. Issy, German Vanenburg, Ori, Benito, another Benito, Nicandro, Musi, and Murat Bukhari.
But wasn't Issy the first guy who got it in the end? Who was winning
One
against
of
you?
the.
One of
yeah,
them.
Yeah, he won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, that story was crazy, man. This kid was 12 years old. Nobody knew
12?
about him. Yeah.
And how old were
yeah,
you?
Is he? 24, 25 maybe. Yeah.
Whoa.
So he was 12 years old, and there was this 2v2 tournament going on in one of the bigger sports facilities here in Holland, totally packed. And there was this other kid, Romario, he was like 13, 14 years old. He played for Feyenoord. And when there was a street event, this kid was always there, showing skills, doing crazy stuff, beating kids on the sideline, giving them pannas and everything. So this 2v2 event, this little kid was in the ring. It was like a boxing ring, but then we play in the boxing ring. It was an adjusted boxing ring for street soccer. And they said, yeah, who wants to go in, who wants to play Romario. Everybody was afraid. And then they threw in Izzy, his cousins. And then Izzy was standing in the pitch, and he gave him a panna straight away. And the guy said, yeah, but I gave him a panna this afternoon, so it's 1-1. Izzy, okay, boom, boom, another one. And bro, everybody went nuts. People ran into the stage. They carried Izzy, and that's where Izzy made his name. And that's how he became Izzy Hitman.
Because we were talking also a lot about you inspiring other people, but the people around you, who are the people who inspire you, basically?
Everybody. The person behind the cash register at the local supermarket. My daughter's teacher. My friends. My wife. My mother-in-law. Football players. Everybody.
Once. Yeah, I guess we're gonna. Okay. Vince has to change batteries, and I guess we're gonna end it in 5 to 10 minutes.
Cool.
Welcome back. Yeah, I mean, maybe you can just repeat it again, like who inspired you?
I get inspired by everybody. It can be the cashier in the local supermarket. If she smiles at me and she serves me in a certain way, I'll take that with me. Like, I woke up and this was the first person I saw and she was kind to me, Then the next person that I see, I'll be kind to. If she's like, I'll be annoyed too straight away. But also teachers from my daughter's school, the way they treat my daughter in certain situations, or how school goes about situations. I'm like, yeah, I wanna use that when I go to church and I heard the guy preach. I always take that with me. Like on every Sunday, I'm like, I go into the car, I go back home, and I'm chilled and relaxed, and like I had a yoga session. But also the guys that play, yesterday. I see some kids getting a little annoyed, and I'm like, I want to talk to the guy because I want to show him the more relaxed you are in your mind, the better you're a player. But also when they're putting pressure, like, yeah, why don't we put pressure, man? Yeah, put pressure. Having a simple conversation about life, I'll be inspired, and I take every information that I got every day. I take it with me, and I'll choose what I can use. Yeah. So yeah, everybody inspires me.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. Like, especially when you said, like, if the cashier, like, when she gives you like a smile and you also smile back, it's like I had like this in my mind. Like, actually 1 week ago, I was like in Lidl, like not Albert Heijn, but Lidl, and there was like also this cashier, and basically she was like in a bad mood, like she was like kind of stressed, and I was basically just like looking at her and giving her a smile, and at one point her mood changed, like, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, nice, like that
That
was
is
like
beautiful, man. Yeah.
that was like
Yeah. I
so
like that.
simple but so effective, like, and so good for her, and especially like, for the other people that she's gonna like work with then afterwards.
Yeah.
And then and that's how, again, like this circle is like going around, like.
Yeah, and that is beautiful what you did, because I really believe that us as persons, we rub off our emotions on other people.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to rub off their nasty emotions, just give them good emotions, like,
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah.
And they'll change, like, shit, why was I such a dick?
In the end, you paid genuine attention to her, and she paid it back.
Yeah.
And this is also interesting. Also at the field, at the street football pitch. Also, sometimes you talk to people, and everywhere basically you realize they talk to you, but they're somewhere else in the mind, so they don't really there.
Yeah.
You see, you simply note, you feel the difference, you sense it when somebody's like really there with you
Yeah.
in this moment.
Yeah.
And for this, eye contact is so important.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that a lot of people are shy to do that, right? Because
Connection
it's
in
super weird
general.
after a second. Like,
True. But connection in general is important, and we lose connections every day a little more with everybody, unfortunately.
And this leads me to one thing where I'm like, it makes so much sense, connection. I remember when we were in touch for the first time, just sending some voicemails and so on.
Yeah.
And for some reason, we connected through these voicemails already, so we
Yeah.
didn't even interact it like on a eye level, let's say, or vision, whatever. And, you know, it's simply interesting what evolved after that, you know. Like,
Yeah, it's
now
insane.
I call you a friend, 100%,
Same,
bro. Like,
same.
100%. And this connecting with you, connecting then through you with other people and so on, like, it leads me to one thing that is basically the foundation of this whole episode, let's say like this. It's us all together creating the Street Football or International Street Football Association. What is interesting, because we're, you know, connecting on social media every here and there, but also on site at certain events, and all of a sudden these connections, we're creating something, let's say, incredible, because it is to a certain extent. And all these people are here because they really genuinely care about what we love as well.
Yeah.
This is street football.
Yeah.
They also care about all the people who are inside the association, I would say. You care as much about me as about Fatih, for
Yeah.
example, or Jack, and.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is maybe something, because when you're connected, I'm connected with you, but again, let's take it to this other level. I always had it somewhere inside myself, and I can show you certain writings that I like years ago that recorded myself, like, I want to be a part of a global street football network that is doing something bigger. And it's so interesting that it's happening, you know,
Yeah.
because it's simply the way that we are simply destined to walk together. What do you think about that in general, like the association?
You know, they say a smile is contagious, but I think street football is even more contagious. And we got enough smiles within street football. So what I really like about this is that, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I always heard people, yeah, you cannot change the world all by yourself. I don't believe that. Because if I do one random act of kindness every day, and I can, you know, influence the guy besides me, and he will do the same, you know, you will get a chain of people with the same mindset. And I see that happening with the foundation right now, the federation, I mean. You know, you see a certain type of guy wanting to be a part of it, and not about the numbers, it's not about the money, it's about the community, it's about fun, it's about the sport, it's about creativity, it's about being together, sharing the same thoughts about life, football, also people that are open-minded to listen to other people and change their mind, because like, oh, wait a minute, I never get that information, let me process it, hey, wait a minute, there's some truth in there. And I just love it, man, and the bigger this movement can get, the better. And if I can leave anything behind when I'm not here anymore, I would love to have a community of hundreds of thousands of people just being able to ball up on Sunday evening wherever you are in the world and enjoy yourself, man, and just have fun and no problems for money or politics or whatever. Just enjoy yourself, being in this peaceful space and doing what you love. And if we can be the first guys to set it up, that will be my life duty.
And I think we're gonna make it. Oh no, I don't think. I know we're gonna make it.
Yeah, for sure.
100%, especially it's in our human nature to express ourselves on a bodily level, on a physical level. And this is a major, because we talked about the system and here and there and blah, blah, and one major aspect of it right now is that people are all the time on the fucking screens.
Yeah.
All the time. And I guess this is the main mission, or one of the certain goals, to make the people come back to the streets. So from the screens back to the streets. And because we know how it is.
Yeah.
We also grew up in a pre-internet
Yeah.
era. Amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people nowadays don't know how that is.
No, you know what I think is the big problem? We invented technology to work for us, but we work for technology at the moment. When my phone rings, I pick it up. When the light outside is red and it's the middle of the night, there's nobody there, I'm still waiting like an asshole. You know, waiting till it gets green and then I can drive. So technology, we work for technology. It's not not the other way around. So what I see happening with this movement is that technology now works for us, because we're a movement. We're people that come together to play football, but we use the instruments and the technology to be able to be in touch with each other. Because the thing back in the days was, okay, we had street football, but end of the day, the big companies, they kind of own street football because they did the events. They even brought out the shoes that you had to wear. They made a street football collection that wasn't even, really popular amongst the street football players. But they did it in such a smart way that we were still slaves to these brands. Because even though we had the power through social media, they used us as instruments. We were waving a shoe or a shirt just to show, look what I've got, I'm important. Well, we finally had an instrument to take power and charge back to the community again. We can communicate with each other. We can have products. We can sell our products. We were still slaves, and I hope we can turn that around. Use technology as an instrument to reach people, to show people what we do. End of the day, maybe some people can make money from merchandise, or we can start making a business out of a street sport. Like the skateboarders do. There's nothing dirty about money. Don't get me wrong. But if we can keep that in the community, that's amazing. Instead of buying shoes and balls from big brands, let's start making them ourselves. If we have this guy within the street football community, he's creative, he can make a clothing line, let him make the clothing line. Let us buy off his clothing line. He will buy balls from another guy, or he will use another guy from our community to help him out with social media or start filming. Let's make an economy within street football itself.
Yeah, I 100% agree with this. Like, really, shout out to Dallas Street Soccer with his his clothing brand.
Yeah, man. There you go.
Really. And I think, like you said, like, we can use this technology, like, it's like a tool basically, and you decide how you want to use it. Like, and in this case for us, it's like perfectly to connect like with people around the world, like, because imagine like back in the days, it was really difficult like to make like a global connection like through all these people.
Impossible.
And I think that's why maybe now it's really the time where you can make it like in a smart and easy way, like this whole connection. And I mean, we have it right now, like also already. So it's like just for us now to push, like, or like to go with the flow. And I think the flow is on the right track right now.
100%, and obviously building our own economy within street football. This is the dream. And what I love, let's leave this word aside, economy, because there was once a discussion that we had all together, not even a discussion, it was just a question. What do we do if we're not getting any money for that. And the funny thing is, everybody's like, we should go for that.
Yeah, we do the same thing as we do now, right?
This is
Just
amazing.
enjoying street football.
This is the most amazing answer that I heard. Like in
Yeah.
that, like because everybody burns for that. The fire is there, and we do it. And the funny thing is, it's not just we do it in Amsterdam or in Klessheim. We do it in Medellin, in Tokyo, in Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's simply amazing, because in this world where people are always trying to get something out of it, it's beautiful to see that people around the world are also doing something simply for the sake of doing.
Yeah.
Like you're doing it because you simply love it, and this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
I want to leave this podcast with one thing.
Go ahead.
This is something that I myself cannot wrap my head around yet, and I believe it's so important. Yeah, I mentioned flow a couple of times, emotions, feelings. When do you achieve greatness in life? What is the moment that you feel like, okay, everything goes right at the moment? There's a certain moment in life where you have that, and it's multiple, but there's one like really standing out, that when you feel that, everything is possible. You know the emotions that I'm talking about? It's called love, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in love, or you're in love with, right? You got this emotion that you can do whatever. You play the best games, you have the best nights, everything works out for you, right? So why do we focus on technique, skills, tactics, but why do we never work on emotion? Within sport, we never work on emotion, and the most important moment in sports in general is flow. And flow, I think you come in a flow because of an emotion. It can be music, it can be the people on the sideline. So my question is, what is flow? How do we get in a flow, and why? How can we focus on that to even become better football players? Don't worry, I'll wait.
We just ended like this, no?
Cliffhanger.
Right?
Like, I mean, it's, to be honest, it's not like a question that I can answer like this right now. I think I need to think about this a bit longer.
Yeah, if you know, man, please let me know, because I'm
I
waiting for the
will,
answer for so long. Because these guys on the pitch that get angry, you can sub them.
Right.
Ronaldinho always has a smile. I think he was the best football player ever.
Right.
There's something there. We just got to figure out what.
If you know the answer, write it in the comments.
Let's go.
Hey, I guess that's something maybe our human mind cannot even grasp. It's something that we sense, and if it's there, we adapt to it.
There's some smart motherfucker on this earth that knows.
If you're a smart motherfucker, write into the comments
Let me
and
know,
reach
man.
out to us. I'd say we'll end it for today.
Yep.
Hey, brother, thank you very much for your time, for everything that you're doing. It's, I don't know. I have no
Same for
words
you
that,
guys, man. Same for supporting these kids, taking the time to bring them over here, taking the time to come over here, taking the time to play here. And thank you for whatever you guys are doing for the sportsmen. And I think that that goes for a lot of street football players. Even though you have no clue what you might contribute, you all contribute. And I want to thank everybody for that.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. Only love for everybody.
Much love, guys.
Fucking hate you.
Thank you.
Good session.
Vince, you're a legend, thank you. Are guys there actually? I would be still in for some tech ball though. Not even 2 weeks.